How's it going, everybody? And welcome to Legacy FNM. We got 3 rounds, and I'm excited to get started.
Me too.
People are already sitting down, so we'll move over to them for the shuffle cam. I know how much our viewers love our shuffle cam, so may as well show them instead of us, right?
Oh, for sure. I'm super excited to see this Knicks Fit deck.
Yeah, so I'm a little excited about it too. It's kind of like a personal level for me, because I'm not the one who made the list, right? But in all technicality, I'm the reason this deck is out in the open right now,
yeah.
Which is really odd for me because I never expected anything to come of it, right? I was just playing some Moto and streaming it. So Les is on Knicks Fit, and Nate, I'm not sure what he is on, but once they're ready.
Welcome, Stu, our resident pirate.
Our resident pirate, yep. Our resident
pirate.
Okay.
Shuffled cut. Let's see who gets a die roll.
Blue black fairies for Nate. What would we do without Brian?
Awesome. So let's see what we got going.
Can't beat Curse of Deathhold.
Curse.
Are we gonna watch Bryce get crushed tonight? I'm actually not sure if Bryce is here, Captain QC. But if he is here, hopefully he can at least win a couple rounds and get onto our feature match area. Yeah. Yes. This matchup is Blue Black Fairies and Knicks Fit. This is exactly what we expected, right?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
The classic Legacy matchup.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Looks like Les is gonna get a new hand here. What a letdown. I know you want to see Bryce get crushed on camera. It's all Captain QC wants. Alright, new hand. I see a Veteran Explorer. Looks like he has an Academy Rector, a Fetch.
Second Explorer, another land.
Savannah? I'm not sure what the black card he has is. Or, is it?
Is it a therapy? It didn't look like a therapy, did it?
No, it didn't look like a therapy. Is it just a swamp?
Could be.
Okay, so he's going to start off with a Verdant Catacombs.
Fetch immediately. Probably play an Explorer.
We got a Bayou, and I imagine we'll have an Explorer. Yeah.
We see a Force of Will in hand on the other side for Nate.
Yep.
And Ponder.
I see an Ensnaring Bridge. Kind of sweet for fairies.
Yeah.
Is it a Diabolic Intent? Okay. All right.
Okay.
Then that's actually really good. Unfortunately, it's going to get forced, but at least he'll get the basics out of it. If Nate has watched any of this deck, which he's a brewer, I imagine he's watched. I think he's seen it.
I'd imagine, though, you can't necessarily think that they're on this build from the start that you're seeing here. You can kind of think of it as normal Veteran Explorer shenanigans, but maybe he's aware.
Maybe. Brian's like, he's watched. Brian's like over at the table watching the match. That's funny. Brian says that Bryce isn't here. Ale, lager, or light beer? I'm going to go lager. I don't know what that's referring to, but I'm going with lager. And I'm sticking to it.
For the brew.
Oh, but he's in the car. Of course. All right, and pass. Oh, he's a brewer. Gotcha. I get it now. I can't believe I didn't get that. Dead Guy Ale. There you go.
So let's see if we see an intent come down after an attack here. or if he opts to get just another Explorer into play. I'd imagine, though, you're just trying to get Rector on as soon as possible.
Yes. Oh, it's a Lingering Souls is his white card. Okay.
Ah.
All right. It looks like he's going to go for the...
For a
Dryad Arbor? Your sensor of humor is getting a little dry. Yeah, it happens. All right, so we got a Dryad Arbor coming in, and I imagine this is going to be followed up by just a second Veteran Explorer. Playing this Nyx Fit deck, the Dryad Arbor really is kind of an issue. You do want to get rid of it before you start using Leap. That's like you want to fetch for it before Leap starts chaining.
That makes sense. I would imagine it's a horrible hit.
It is. Yeah, if it's not Dryad Arbor, then it's a good hit. So, or perhaps your humor is a little Dryad. Oh, that's man, Stodney, you are on one today, and I like it. It's awesome. All right, so we've got a Misty. Grab a second Underground Sea, which we do from Brian. We know that this is just a blue-black fairies deck, so no third color, I don't think.
And Nate's hand looks to be a little bit action light, but he does have a collective brutality here to hit that Dryad Arbor and take a look at the hand, and that's gonna steal the Lingering Souls.
I don't see an intent anywhere. Did he steal it? No. There was never an intent. It was just a plains. It just looked weird.
Yeah, I think it's just the foiling on that.
Okay. So attack for 2 with Veteran Explorers. We're
seeing some flashback
flashing
tokens.
Back. Yep. Getting some spirits. And we've got a basic plains coming down.
I'd imagine Nate's looking for something big to go over the top. And Bridge is not going to do much against a bunch of 1/1s here.
No, not only that, but this Nyx Fit deck, it doesn't win with creatures. Like it
Right.
can, and in this spot where Nate is literally doing nothing, these creatures look fine. But we know that Les just drew an Abrupt Decay. So if he really wanted to get rid of the bridge, he sure can, you know.
I think for right now, though, mediocre beats, and Nate doesn't really have much going on his side of the board to get things going. But like you were saying, Nyx Fit is able to win without dealing damage with creatures. Mm-hmm. It's able to play cards like Cruel Reality.
Cruel Reality.
In order to get around that.
Right.
Here comes a Brainstorm in on Nate's side. And again, not much action there in that Brainstorm. Looks like 2 lands, which are going to be fetched away. And it looked like he picked up possibly a counterspell. A spell snare, it looked like.
Oh yeah, Captain QC. I'll just rename that real quick. I'm not gonna rename it. This isn't the typical Nyx Fit game.
Not very aggressive on the draw from either side here, but the 1/1 beatdowns are going to do the trick. Spirit token gets fatal pushed.
Mm-hmm. And this is it's not actually speeding up the clock, but he's trying to get rid of cards in his hand. If he can keep the 1/1s from attacking, then at least he can hold on for a little while, right?
It's got to be a flavor fail to push a spirit.
Yeah.
Killing a spirit
by pushing it?
By pushing it.
Yeah, definitely a flavor fail.
So Nate sees a Snapcaster, but that's probably not going to be good enough. He might be able to block off the ground a little bit, but
I'm-
I believe Les has a Curse of Death's Hold in hand.
Oh, really?
Did I see that correctly?
He may. So he's gonna ponder first. If I'm Nate, I can either Brutality off of Flashback, or I can Fatal Push off of Flashback. Either way, one of these is gonna die. If he's got some cards that he wants to get rid of out of hand, he actually. I think you can escalate off the Flashback. I'm pretty sure it's an additional.
Yeah,
addition to the cost.
you can escalate.
Yeah, so Brutality, and he's probably just going to discard Force, discard
Yep.
Spell Snare, gain
Do
2
it
life.
all.
Yep.
Here comes that Decay in, and revealing it was
Curse of Death's Hold.
Curse of Death's Hold. And, yep,
Yeah,
that
it-
cannot
it-
be taken by
Correct.
Brutality.
So now there's no cards in hand from Nate, so no attacks can come through. So Nate, there's a Phyrexian Tower that was just drawn, so he can play Phyrexian Tower, sacrifice. Everybody goes and gets basics, which is probably pretty good for both sides at this point.
Yep.
And
Now,
then cast the Curse of Death's Hold.
Now, Les is kind of having to go to a secondary game plan here because he's no longer able to attack in through that bridge as Nate no longer has any
Right.
cards in hand.
I am very surprised that he killed the Snapcaster over the bridge.
Yeah, that was a little surprising, especially with that Death's Hold in hand, but I believe he thought at the time that the Death's Hold was going to go to the graveyard, that he wasn't going to get a chance to cast it.
A little earthquake on the camera there. But it looks like force something. So he's going to keep a Force of Will. This does make it so the Veteran Explorer can attack, which isn't doing a ton. This is a Cabal Therapy, which I actually think is quite good. He gets to hit. Cabal Therapy, he'll probably miss, but then he can just Cabal Therapy again.
I'd be tempted not to. So he's just going to force that Cabal Therapy.
Yeah,
which makes sense.
Because he wants 0 cards in hand. Makes sense. And then Les is just going to leave that there. He has Phyrexian Tower as a sack outlet, so...
Plays Spell Stutter, and it dies immediately.
Yep, he doesn't want to take damage
wants
off of...
to keep cards out of hand.
I wonder what he has that can actually stay on board from the Curse of Death's Hold.
I'm not sure. Most of his threats are going to be X1s.
Mm-hmm.
If he plays something along the lines of a Scion of Una, maybe he could work his way out of it, but I'm not sure.
I would not expect to see something like Scion of Una in this, but then again, who knows, right?
And Nate's just going to pack it in. So a quick game one out of Nick's Fit with a very unconventional win. Not
Very
getting
much so.
many enchantments at all. Just doing the 1/1
beatdown plan. Weird. Stadatnu, yes, there is absolutely a typical Nick's Fit game. I've been playing it playing quite a bit of Nick's Fit in this last week, and there are trends for sure. Nothing. Nate can't beat it. Cannot beat Curse of Death's Hold. Okay, noted. Well, let's take a look at our other round, yeah?
All right.
And they're in the shuffle phase.
As you do. We have the best shuffle cams
In the state.
in the state. I would venture on
West Coast.
On Twitch, we have the best shuffle
Whoa.
cams. That's my argument.
I'm not going to fight with you. So on our backup match today, we have Ray on lands and Crystal on Eldrazi. So that's what's going on over there. It looks like they're wrapping up game one as well. So, truth. Yep. So once these guys are done, well, I guess we'll just stay here for a little
We'll
bit.
see who finishes first, and we can figure it out. Looks like these guys are getting pretty close to starting up game 2.
So, I don't know if Les knows that it's that easy. Just get Curse of Death's Hold and we're done. But if that's really as easy as it is, I would say this matchup's probably pretty favored towards the next fit deck. I know he has Thought Seizes in his deck. He can fight those counter spells with a little bit of hand hate. 4 Cabal Therapy, 2 Collective Brutality. He definitely has what it takes to fight through it, but Varys is heavy on counter magic.
I think play versus draw is going to be very important in turning those spell stutter sprites into live draws for Nate. If he's able to get those veteran explorers before they're able to produce mana and keep them off the board, then he's going to have a much better shot at controlling the game and figuring out a clock of his own before Curse comes down.
For sure. Captain QC, I am embarrassed to tell you that is a question that is stumping me. I cannot think of what Quinn's colleagues' names were.
So here we see
Mutavault.
Veteran Explorer gets in there. Turn 1, which is not what Nate wants to see right off the bat.
No, and a Phyrexian Tower. So this is the really, really explosive kind of hand.
Just thinking about that attack.
Yeah,
I wonder.
Attack.
Yep.
Why not?
There we go.
Brainstorm.
Resolve. Yes. Okay. Brainstorm. In response to the trigger.
The shuffle. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So he's using this Brainstorm to get kind of the same effect that you would with a fetch land.
Sure.
Brainstorm, then fetch to shuffle away 2 cards, right? Yep. This is going to work the same way. So both players are going to use Veteran Explorer's ability to go get 2 basic lands and put them into play. It's probably a plains and a forest.
And
I don't know, he's looking for
swamp
swamp.
and an island. And
So I think he can double swamp there for a sec. That'd be really surprising. Don't know what he would need double swamp for when he's got a Phyrexian Tower.
there we go.
So he's got
there goes that.
one of each color, and then we've got a island and a swamp from Nate.
In Nate's hand, I see a Snapcaster. Not a ton else that I can see at a glance. It looks like a Ponder.
Mm-hmm. It looks like we'll get to see it here.
Yep, Thoughtseize coming down.
What was
And Spell Stutter on the Thoughtseize.
Yep, that'll resolve. Karma. Captain QC, it's Karma.
So Les still has 1 mana floating, I believe, but he's just gonna let that go and pass the turn back to Nate.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Les has a really land-heavy hand. In fact, I think aside from an Abrupt Decay, yep. So there's an Abrupt Decay there.
Decay
I
comes
think this
in.
is 4 lands. Yeah,
And
this is just
yep.
a straight up whiff. So that's really frustrating. That's got to be really frustrating for Les because he has both Phyrexian Towers; those are legendary, and this is just all systems go from Nate.
Definitely what Nate wants to see, even though he took 2 life off of that Thoughtseize, knowing that the coast is completely clear. That's got to be a nice feeling.
Yeah. Dude, you're good. Thank you. But I didn't know her colleagues' names. That is something I really don't know.
Down comes a Jace for Nate, and that's going to be able to flip in 1 activation here. Jace would have been away last game for Nate to kind of get value and get back into the game.
Mm-hmm. All right, Pernicious Deed. I think that's a pretty good top deck from Nate.
Yeah.
At least he'll be able. I think I would have just popped that. It does kill Mutavaults, so... But it doesn't kill Planeswalkers.
Can he do it for 2 with a tower in play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The tower taps for colorless.
Okay.
Yeah.
In comes Mutavault.
So, yeah, so he's just going to take this 2 damage. Wow, I would have really cracked it immediately. He would have taken 4 damage off of Mutavaults this turn, so I guess it is saving him a little bit. Heather, Misty, Samantha, Tracy. I knew Tracy, and I knew Destiny. I don't know the other ones. That's a ton, Captain QC. I definitely didn't know all those. I like this Himium trivia while Magic's going
While
on.
we watch.
Yeah. All right.
Another Mutavault coming in.
Yep. Jasmine.
Less fetching with even more lands, seeing what he can get there. Dryad Arbor comes down. And that should give Les enough mana. If he draws one of his big enchantments, he should be pretty close to being able to play one.
Pretty close. So the big enchantments in this deck are Dovescape, which costs 6, but 3 of them need to be white. I don't think he has the 3rd white yet. Cruel Reality costs 7. Overwhelming Splendor costs 8.
Les has 3rd white in hand, looks like.
And then he's just sitting on mana, so any draw is pretty live.
Super hidden Dryad Arbor.
Ooh, he has Abrupt Decay. I think I would have cracked Deed on this land. Or does Deed not kill lands?
Deed, I don't believe, kills lands.
I really think it's actually...
Deed's very specific on what it does kill.
Right, and it does kill creatures. And that's why I'm thinking that. It does kill creatures,
yeah.
Destroy each artifact, creature, and enchantment. That's what I thought.
Yep.
So it kills manlands.
Yep. An activated manland would die.
Whoa. So with Abrupt Decay, I probably... If this was me... Okay, so Diabolic Intent has been drawn. And, but there's no creatures to sacrifice.
There is a Dryad Arbor that's kind of been shuffled in with the lands on Les's side.
That's right. So he could have cast it.
Now,
I wonder why he didn't pull the trigger.
If he pops Deed, he will lose that Dryad Arbor.
Yes. That's another reason I'm pretty surprised why he didn't try to intent that. Okay, so now he's got a way to... Okay, so Cabal Therapy. If I'm Nate, I'm naming Force of Will. Try to get a counter out of his hand. We haven't seen any other counter spells. We saw a counter squall, or not counter squall.
We saw
counter 2-drop. What is it?
A Spell Snare.
Spell Snare. Thank you.
And that looks like there's a Surgical Extraction in hand.
Snapcaster, Thoughtseize, Umezawa's Jitte, and Ponder. So this is...
So it looks like...
Probably...
Whiff on the therapy.
Tap for green.
And here comes that Arbor. Up in front. Surprise, I'm actually a creature.
Yep. He's got to sack this to Diabolic Intent. He knows the way is clear.
Yeah.
It's got to be a little frustrating for him though. He just passes.
Not really sure what's going on here. Here comes the Thoughtseize, and that's gonna get rid of any plans Les had. And he knew this was coming off of his Cabal Therapy.
Hey, welcome to chat, Dragonite.
And the intent goes away.
So I understand So intent, the best thing that he can get with intent is either an Academy Rector or an Evolutionary Leap. He has the mana. He could have just intented away the Dryad Arbor, and he knew it would resolve. Okay, so there would have been no Brainstorm, right?
Yeah.
But the chance of it resolving has got to be really high, and then he can play Academy Rector, and then he had the Phyrexian Tower. So
one thing to think about with Surgical Extraction in hand, he's not going to be able to use the Rector. Mm-hmm. He's not going to be able to exile it from the graveyard.
Right. Oh, Structure Mole. Okay, you might be right. Is that a... Are you sure that's not a scrub land? Not a Savannah? Oh, it is Savannah. Okay, yeah, he only has one Black Source.
Ah, that explains things.
I don't know why. In my mind, that was a scrub land.
That does explain things. So Surgical is going to come in and hit those Cabal Therapies. And I think as less, I'd actually be okay with that.
Yes.
That to me seems kind of like a non-issue at this point. It does stop an immediate sack, but he's already got the tower in play.
Mm-hmm. Dragonite, to answer your question, I think blue is a lot of fun. So you could just start with Abzan, and then if you want to branch into blue, you can branch into blue. Just kind of do it one color at a time. That's how I would do it. And so it's known that there's an Abrupt Decay, so Jace still just is sitting there.
Jace has to sit there until something happens.
Right.
And Abrupt Decay will always be able to deal with that Jace before it flips.
Or after.
Even after, if he wants to. But I would assume before, so there's not as much value.
Yeah. And 2 Mood Vaults just keep crashing in.
Yeah, these Mutavaults are doing some serious damage here. Les is already down to 9 life, and another hit here is going to put him down to 7.
I still am a huge fan of just cracking Deed on 2 and responding to the activation of Jace. Oh, he's just going to block with Dryad Arbor.
I think he activated Tower.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah, you're right. He did.
And now they're figuring out what they're going to do.
Pay 2 more mana. Deed on 4? Doesn't matter. Not really.
So
Surgical Abrupt Decay.
Okay. So, in response. Right?
Yep. So he gets to keep Jace.
Yeah. Second Surgical coming up big, and that might have been the reason why he felt so safe in kind of getting rid of those Cabal Therapies.
Yeah.
Just having that second one around.
Yep. So Abrupt Decay doesn't resolve.
Jace is a new permanent. And now it's Deed proof.
It is. Planeswalkers were not a card type.
Yep.
At the time.
They weren't really thinking about that with the wording on Deed.
I bet you they would include Planeswalker if it was printed later.
Yeah, you've seen it in cards like Oblivion Stone.
Mm-hmm. Just as permanents.
Yeah.
Non-land permanents.
So Nate's still pretty firmly ahead here, although with 2 Surgicals gone, a Rector off the top is still pretty live.
Yes.
But Snapcaster in hand is going to put maybe a little bit of a damper on that.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Mutavault's still coming in.
So I think what he's telling him, you already attacked with that Mutavault. You've already gone to your attack step.
Yeah. I like blue Dragonite. But whatever color you like is probably the one to go with.
All right, so this is an evolutionary leap. So this opens up the world to just any creature is good. Yeah,
And
this
there-
force of will, absolutely.
Snap force that. Yeah.
Mhm. Easy decision to make.
Nope, not letting you have that in a million years.
2 damage. It's another. Oh, there it is. That's Academy Rector.
So there's a Rector. That Snapcaster in hand that he knows about, though, is going to cause problems if he goes to activate. So Les is just trying to figure out how he can get this down. One thing is that Rector will provide a blocker for Mutavault, but it's still not big enough to trade.
Oh, this is funny. Oh yeah. He's like,
There
oh,
we
I'm not
go.
tapping Phyrexian
Yeah,
Tower.
yeah.
I was like, really? You're gonna play the Phyrexian Tower in your hand? Does he still have the Phyrexian Tower in his hand?
He does.
The second one? Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Up to 7. Get rid of any power on Academy Rector. He takes it. I'm actually really surprised by this. My instinct is to block and go get Cruel Reality. Well, now Cruel Reality seems fantastic. We've got a Pernicious
So-
Deed.
Deed comes down,
Resolves.
passes turn.
So,
Here comes a Ponder. And a quick shuffle off the top from Nate.
oh, see, now I understand why he's not pulling the trigger. I didn't see it before. So the reason yeah, because of Snapcaster.
Yeah.
So Snapcaster can get surgical.
Snapcaster
Gotcha.
on surgical stops the Rector from being able to get what he wants.
Yeah,
But
I don't know why I didn't see that before.
it looks like this is gonna kill one Mutavault with the Deed.
He drew it. He drew Overwhelming Splendor.
Wow. That's gonna
So
be great.
this turns off Snapcaster. Snapcaster will come into play as just a 1/1. It doesn't have an ability.
It also turns off Jace and Mutavault.
It doesn't turn off Jace.
It does not turn off Planeswalkers.
Mana and loyalty abilities.
Mana and loyalty isn't a Planeswalker ability, a loyalty ability.
What is he doing?
So it looks like Rectors are
What?
all getting surgical.
What?
Snapcaster surgical.
Did he not have another mana?
1, 2, 3.
So he had to sack it
4,
just to get
5,
mana?
6, 7.
I thought he had a land in hand.
It looks like the second tower.
Yeah, Nick Major. I'm in the
know.
same boat.
Not really sure what's going on here. He must have.
Did he miscount? He miscounted.
He
He
must
had the
have-
land in hand.
He must have miscounted on his mana, and that's super unfortunate. Just the wrong
'cause
order.
If he had ordered it correctly, he would have had the Academy Rector still been able to sack it.
And the tower, yeah.
And then he goes and gets Cruel Reality, and then he has to sacrifice Snapcaster, and then if he doesn't have a creature to play,
yeah.
these guys give you cancer.
There's some interesting play going on right now for sure, but we'll see how this shapes up.
Okay, Bitter Blossom.
So Les is still on a pretty quick clock here by the Bitter Blossom and the
Jace.
Jace, even though they're just 1/1s. And there comes a Veteran Explorer.
Not going to do a ton.
Not really what you're looking for right now.
He does have 2 more basics, and this will be able to block.
He'll block one of them.
Something. They're all 1/1s. They're all, every creature on Nate's side of the board are the same thing.
Super humility.
Yeah, and Mutavault cannot be activated.
But Jace can be activated and is able to ultimate next turn.
So Jay Taylor, the reason he doesn't get to play something off of Rector is because when the way that it's worded is when it hits the graveyard, then the ability triggers to give you the option to exile it. So when it hits the graveyard, the ability goes on the stack and you can just exile it. So what happened is Nate snapcastered Surgical Extraction and got rid of all the Rectors, and he wasn't able to get anything off of it. Now he has to answer a Liliana as well.
And I think this is pretty much the writing on the wall.
Coral Forel, he can absolutely use Jace. Overwhelming Splendor prevents from using mana abilities and loyalty. Mana abilities and loyalty abilities can still be activated.
Let's pull up the card.
Enchanted player can't activate abilities that aren't mana abilities or loyalty abilities.
So loyalty abilities are still just fine, Coral. But he cannot activate Mutavault. And that is the end of game 2. Looks like we're going to go to a game 3 here.
Oh.
Just 1-1.
Wrong button. I'm looking at your link, Coral. I'm not...
Yes, QC. If he'd played Splendor first, this game would have been over
Agreed.
A long time ago.
Yes. Yeah, it is sad. It was just a misplay. And honestly, like there were a couple points where all he needed to do is be a little more aggressive with his cards and just run them in, and he would have been just fine. But he was, let's just call it overly patient. I don't know.
Yep, he knew about that Snapcaster,
and like let it happen.
But you know, sometimes things are a little bit less obvious when you're.
Yeah, and as far
going through it.
Not only that, but I do know this is Les's first time playing the deck as well.
A ground seal in the sideboard. That would be an interesting one. So,
I don't dislike it, Nick Major. It definitely could be. I do know that the version that I was playing, its sideboard wasn't tuned at all.
Yeah, ground seal would definitely stop Surgical from having an effect, and it would also help against Deathrite Shaman, which is another big problem for the Academy Rector.
Yeah, it really is.
And it draws you a card. What's not to like?
I'm a fan, actually. Yeah. I could see like 3 of these in the sideboard being like I like this to the point where I like it a lot.
Yeah.
Good call, Nick Major. I'm definitely gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
Probably purchase a couple of these for myself because I own this deck in paper as well. right, looks like they're
We're shuffled up and
getting ready to start.
ready to go.
All right, we got a turn 1 Veteran Explorer, just how they wrote it.
And I do see a leap in hand.
And a library. Lots going on for Les. I don't see much from Nate's side.
Tower comes down, and that's a good sign.
Mm-hmm. You suggest 1 or 2, Paul? All right, so this is another really, really fast start. If he has the right cards, this can be huge.
Oh, we're going exploring.
Mm-hmm. I imagine this is going to be a plains. Nope. Okay, so
Nope.
no Academy Rector on turn 2. But
No.
what he does have is a leap and a
I think I saw another Veteran Explorer in that hand as well.
Really?
So that might get a little bit crazy if he can start chaining a couple things together.
he can go Veteran Explorer like Sylvan Library. Try to bait out a counter spell.
So he's got black, green in pool.
Mm-hmm.
Here comes the library. And that gets snared. And I believe we're going to see a leap come down, and that's going to get forced.
All right, so this is already like, wow, that was a good hand from Nate.
Yeah.
Really good hand. And he's got a Snapcaster.
And a Ponder.
Yeah, wow.
Hopefully to keep it going. And if Nate can kind of stave off this early aggression from Les, Les's deck is much worse at top decking than Nate.
Right. So this is going to be a fetch, and it looks like we're going to flash back Snare on this Green Sun, which the Green Sun would just get another Veteran Explorer.
Green Sun for 0 or Green Sun
1.
for 1?
1. Or maybe it is for 0.
If it's Green Sun for 0, then it can't be snared.
Can't quite see.
Click comes down. The glare is a little bit too much to see. It's an abrupt decay.
Okay.
I think he's just going to say, yeah, you can have it. And good timing there on Nate's part, clicking in response to the Green Sun Zenith, which would trigger to put whatever he has back in the deck as opposed to on the bottom. I'm not sure if that is the order that he would want it in. Oh no,
maybe not.
Might have wanted to wait, but regardless. Dryad Arbor's in play, Veteran Explorer's in play, Vendilion Click's in play, and we know about an Abrupt Decay and a land in Les's hand.
And a Snapcaster in Nate's. Not sure what the other 2 cards are.
Now, at any point, Les could top deck his way into a Curse of Death's Hold, and that might change things up quite a bit.
It really could. So we're going to use Phyrexian Tower to sacrifice the Veteran Explorer. And it looks like Nate doesn't have anything to go get because he's not moving towards his deck at all.
Only 2 basics.
Mm-hmm. So this gets a forest and a plains. And I imagine this Abrupt Decay is just going to come down now and take care of the Vendilion Click. Probably just fast enough of a clock that he doesn't want to deal with it.
I'd agree. 3 damage a turn and in the air, not able to be
blocked.
Really interacted with at all from the Nyx Fit deck, minus a Dovescape or a Cruel.
And he passes the turn. So one thing looking at where things are at the moment, Nate has more cards in hand. Like he has more permission. He's in a pretty good spot. But Les's top of the deck is pretty live. He's already cracked 2 Veteran Explorers. He doesn't have a ton of lands left in deck.
Yeah.
You know, compared to what Nate probably has.
And most top decks are going to be castable for less at this point, even his heavy hitters.
This looks like a pernicious... Or what is this? Is it Verdant Catacombs? That's not what you want to see.
The advantage that Nate does have is he's able to manipulate the top of his deck a lot more and see what he wants to keep on top. There's a lot of play that he can get out of that Jace. He can flash back a Brainstorm. He can use his Snapcaster if he wants to. He gets a draw off of his Jace right here, a loot, and flips.
He'll probably just minus and ponder here.
That's what I would do. Although we saw him aggressively upping Jace last game.
Yep. So that's that. He does plus and hit Dryad Arbor. He's probably very aware that if a curse comes down, that his only win con from that point is Jace, right?
Right. And I think he's just kind of all in on being content, sitting back and working for the late game mill plan.
Yeah, makes sense.
Down comes the Bear Blossom. Let's see if that changes Nate's game plan at all.
Didn't quite get to see what was drawn. That's an Academy Rector.
Okay. So let's see if Les pulls the trigger.
There's not really a better time.
I can't imagine him not going for it. Now, Bitter Blossom is going to make it a little bit hard to win through Cruel Reality, but if he just goes and gets Curse of Death's Hold here, then Bitter Blossom's just a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
So, here we see sacking my Academy Rector. Do you have anything? Nope.
Another decent option would be Dovescape, but I think Curse is where you want to start.
I think you definitely have to start with Curse. Dovescape's not going to do a ton against what's already on board.
Oh, he brought in Sandworm Convergence.
Oh, interesting. Cool.
So flyers cannot attack, and he gets a 5/5 at the end of his turn.
Wow.
Every single turn.
Every turn. Very interesting.
So this keeps up with Bitter Blossom. So he's still looking for Curse.
Yeah. But those flying fairy tokens can't attack.
Right. So they're just stuck on defense, and
they're going to have to chump those 5/5s for sure.
Looks like Les is just going to use our Germ token to...
Germ, Worm, close enough.
Oh, they're all the same thing.
So Nate starts digging.
Yeah, smart choice bringing in the Sandworm Convergence. I don't know why I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah, against fairies, that seems like a great choice.
The 5/5 stop Mutavaults, and the Sandworm Convergence stops everything else.
Yeah.
So. And Jace immediately minuses. We're probably looking for a...
Hi, Batosai.
Probably looking for an answer, just hitting Ponder.
Yep. And we see Snapcaster and another Brainstorm and something else. Not really the answers that you're looking for. Cavern comes down. So if you're less here, you have to be feeling pretty good. That Jace down-ticked, which means there's not going to be much of a chance of you getting milled out this game.
What can he even do? Like, he's not making enough...
The tokens won't be able to keep up with the worms at all.
Mm-hmm. So, something to mention, he did just tick up a die towards the bottom of the screen. I think they're in turns.
We might be in turns. Oh, Echoing Truth. Interesting. So...
And then Thought sees it.
Interesting.
I still think
It's still 10 power on board versus a Bitter Blossom
And
that's already behind.
And and
Snapcaster.
Oh.
Snapcaster on the Echoing Truth. Wipe your board, get rid of your Convergence.
There you go.
And we're in turns. So it doesn't look like we're going to get a solid finish to this game, but Les is very clearly behind.
Well, I'm really surprised he attacked with the Dryad Arbor. If it were me, I'm waiting for that leap, you know.
Yeah. I think they're just kind of figuring out, looks like this is going to be the last turn, and yep.
I think that just
that
that's
looks
a draw.
like a draw to me. That
Wow.
Echoing Truth out of the sideboard. Absolutely crushing.
Yeah. Yeah, that was really surprising. I felt like, you know, in that game it went back and forth, like who could have it, and the answer is no one.
Yeah. Jesse, Echoing Truth for the draw.
For the draw, not for the win. FTD. All right, so we get to gear up for round 2 since they won since that was in turns. I assume we'll get started fairly quickly.
FTD.
Welcome to chat, Jesse. Okay, let me get set up here.
What a wild round.
That was crazy. I'm like, that match just tears me apart because I've been playing this Nyx Fit deck. The reason it's actually like anywhere right now is because of our stream on Tuesday, and so I've been continuing playing with it. So and it's so much fun to play that like watching it, I'm like, I just want to
really fun deck.
I just want to be in his seat.
Yeah,
you know, like. It's not often that I'm like, oh man, I don't want to be sitting here commentating. I want to be playing, but at the same time, I love the Blue Black Fairies deck.
Oh yeah,
I've played so many different variants of fairies, and Bitter Blossom is just one of my favorite cards, and so is Mood Vault actually. So it's a fun match to watch, like two decks that I just love.
You know, and originally we were thinking, oh, this should be an easy match for Nyx Fit. But Nate really showed how much play Fairies has and how resilient it is and how many answers that they can kind of fit in.
I wasn't expecting Echoing Truth, I'm not going to lie.
Very true.
If I was playing, I would not have seen it coming either.
But it was the right answer.
Yeah, it was everything it needed to be. Echoing Truth, Thought Sees You, Flashback Echoing Truth. It only took 3 cards.
Yeah.
Sadatnu, you want the next matchup to be Rug versus not Rug?
Not Rug versus not Rug.
Oh, yes.
Because we know how much that Sadatnu hates Rug.
Yeah, he hates it.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
Just for you, Sadatnu, we will not put on any Rug.
Yep.
None of that crap.
Yep.
I wouldn't want to upset anybody in the chat, so. Especially our chat pirate, so. All right. Where are we at?
So we have 20 players today for our Legacy event, and we have over 40 players today for a Modern event going on.
And we have 11 in our Standard.
11 for Standard.
Which means we have over 70 players.
And those are just for the constructed tournaments that we have going on. There's draft tournaments going on.
There's
an
EDH.
An EDH pod.
And I also saw people playing board games.
It's quite possible there's over 100 people in the store right now.
It's very possible. This place is packed to the brim right now. It is fantastic. Legacy Humans.
That would be interesting.
Riley would love that. Wouldn't be surprising to switch it to Legacy.
It's not
the mana base is perfect. The 5 color Humans deck.
Yeah.
The mana base is perfect. Just change the what was it? There's a Temple Garden and what's the blue-white one?
Hallowed Fountain.
Hallowed Fountain.
So,
just switch that to a Tundra and a Savannah, and the deck is...
Call it good to go.
It probably is. You'd probably tune it a little bit towards...
Meddling Mage seems strong.
Yep.
Yep.
I need to tell my brother about that. I'm not using those lands too often. Oh, wait. Now I'm playing...
You wouldn't call Standard playing.
Me neither, Stadotnu. In fact, my brother and Brian and I are gearing up for a team event tomorrow at another store. Hey, Todd, welcome in. And for the last couple of months, we've known that we were going to be a team going to Santa Clara in January, and this is our first chance to get to practice. Standard should be called Teamer Energy versus I don't disagree with you. So, but anyway, my brother was like set to play Standard. He's a super good Standard player. I was going to be on Modern, but that's the only format I'm not keeping up with at the moment. And then Brian was going to play Food Chain, right? And then last second, I realized that my brother, since he's going to school, really isn't all that caught up with Standard. He doesn't have a Standard deck. I would have to put back together Jund, and with all the Eldrazi Tron in Utah, I'm just kind of like not there for it. And I'm going to play Standard tomorrow.
But are you really going to deprive your brother of the joys of playing Standard?
I don't know. We got 5-color humans put together for him. I know that he'll enjoy that deck quite a lot. So,
well, it looks like we're getting some matches about ready to go here. So more Legacy action coming your way.
More Legacy. So it looks like we've got Josh Snow versus Ray, which we've seen this matchup a number of times, but I think we're going to give it a watch here. This is Miracles versus Lance.
Miracles versus Lance.
So let me get that set up for you guys.
Proving once again that we have the best shuffle cams.
Yeah, I haven't turned it to the shuffle cam yet.
We're going to see plenty of that in Lands versus Miracles.
Yes, we will. I feel like I'm misspelling Miracles every single time, but I think it's good. I don't know. We'll find out. But it's so true though, Stadotnu. Like I'm gonna be playing 4-color energy tomorrow, and it's just a lot of mirrors. It's just so many mirrors. I'm good at playing the mirrors, but that doesn't mean I like to.
You know, I think it takes a lot out of you playing the same matchup over and over again. And,
it really does.
You know, trying to even just keep things straight. Was that this game? Was that last match? Yeah. Like,
I even told Brian, I was like, Brian, you have Eldrazi Tron. You be our Modern player. Riley can be the Standard player, and I'll be the Legacy player. And he's like, no way.
No.
And I'm like, fine, I'll play Modern.
To be fair, would you give up the chance to be the Legacy player?
No.
No.
I'm not mad at him for it, but I actually discovered that it'd be like harder to get Riley on a new Standard deck, and then I would be on a deck that wouldn't be all that great in Modern. So I figure put Riley on an aggressive strategy that favors his play style in Modern, and then put me on a deck that I just came back from a 9-5-1 in a GP.
Fair enough.
I think it makes a little more sense, but I don't know. Stadotnu, I don't hate Standard right now, but when you compare it to Legacy, I may as well hate it. Like Legacy's just so it's just not even comparable. They're like two completely different games, and if given the choice, I'll pick Legacy 100% of the time. I just can't even think. I can't even think of a scenario where I would be like, oh yeah, let's play Standard instead of Legacy. I cannot think of the scenario. I'd have to be like bribed or
bribes work.
Bribing would be a pretty good scenario.
All right, so we're getting underway here, and Looks like we have a Barbarian Ring into a Gamble, and that's going to get forced. And Josh did mulligan. Just once, though.
Mm-hmm. This is a Ghost Quarter. He's going to Ghost Quarter his own land to grab green.
Red, and then playing in Exploration.
Get that basic forest.
Is that Exploration?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exploration comes down. I think we'll probably see another land.
And there's a Thespian Stage.
The most thespian of stages. Played my fair share of those today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Earlier today, I did a stream of Turbo Depths.
Oh, there you go.
It was my first time ever piloting the deck, and I piloted it to a 4-1.
Hey.
How that happened, I don't know, because I felt like I was making mistakes at every corner, but I'll take it.
There you go.
It was a lot of fun.
Counterbalance comes down for Josh. And Wasteland on the other side for Ray.
He goes for that blind flip.
No 2 on the top, though.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So from Josh, I see an EE in his hand. I've never seen that in a Miracles main deck.
Huh.
You only think I made one bad mistake, Romario? That is actually like the kindest thing anybody could have said about that stream. I had a ton of fun playing it. I don't feel like I piloted it well. I really don't. So, yeah, Romario, I know. That was so bad. And it's hard not to dwell on those mistakes, too, because, like, I know I could play better, but it's, like, my first time piloting the deck, so, like, I don't know. I don't want to beat myself up too much over it, but it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. Raceland, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think you are great as well.
So crop rotation's coming in for Ray here, and the blind flip off of Counterbalance revealed another Counterbalance.
Mm-hmm.
So Dark Depths is now in play. And EE is not going to be able to do anything about that. That's for sure. And even if it were set at 0, indestructible.
Yeah. And Terminus, even if Josh can get a good Terminus here, it's just not going to do it.
He did have one in hand, but as we can see, there's no white mana, no way to put it on top of his library at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And those Wastelands and Ghost Quarters are really kind of doing some work as well.
Okay, so
that's the game right there.
Mm-hmm. For a sec, I thought he just cracked the EE and like let it go, but all right. So Lens is going to take this one, and I have not taken a look at our other match, so I'm just going to pan over there and fill in the information as I see it.
All right.
Looks like we've got Storm.
Storm
versus a Deathblade deck. Yeah, so this will be Eric.
Eric versus Shay.
And he is on
Storm.
Esper, Deathblade. And then we've got Shay on Storm.
Cool.
Even though it wraps
looks
up.
like that game's over too.
Yeah, it looked like Shay was going, taking that one while I was filling in the information. Not sure if looks like they're going to another game, or maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. But we'll pan over to our main match.
Things should be underway shortly.
Watch them sideboard for a moment.
We can watch them make sure that they're not getting their cards mixed up with their matching black sleeves.
You know, Stadanu, they might be working on a trade. Every trade that I've been involved in, I've never seen everybody put their cards face down.
You know, I think there might be some red goblin cards that would fit right in there.
Hey, Matt, I'll trade you this card that you don't know about for this card that you don't know about.
Sold.
Done.
Done. Traded.
Done.
Traded. And we get these awesome, cool pirate token.
Wait, that's what I got.
Hey!
What an even trade.
Even. Even trade.
You hope one of them shuffles their deck into the opponent?
I've had that happen, yeah. So me and my friend Tim were sitting down, and we used to share a collection together. So we'd always sleeve things up the same, and we played the same decks when we went to tournaments. And we were sitting down playing against each other in FNM. And I set my deck down to be cut. My opponent sets his deck down to be cut. My opponent takes half of his deck and half of my deck and shuffles it in together before I can even say anything. We spent the next 30 minutes trying to figure out exactly whose cards were whose. It was ridiculous.
They were playing the same deck too, so they had
deck.
Each of them had to lay out their deck.
It was
to figure out
2 copies of. What was that deck? It must have been Stoneblade.
Really?
Yeah. 2 copies of Stoneblade.
Oh, what a nightmare. Yeah, you and your Romario, you you have the same problem. Oh, that is terrible. I've not had that happen.
Oh,
there's the occasional draft where like somebody will like spreading sees something or like, you know, put an enchantment on something and it just kind of ends up in your pool because neither of you had sleeves on your crappy decks. But that's like the worst that's ever happened.
There's nothing worse than looking at a hand and going, oh, that's a 5th flooded strand.
Your opponent's probably just like, your opponent can't blame you either. You went home with a detention spear that did not belong to you. Oh, that is terrible.
It looks like our main match of Miracles versus Lands is about to get back underway.
Cool. Just pull this up then.
It looks like we've got a mulligan on Ray's side, and Josh is looking at his hand. It looks like he's going to keep it. I will say, I really do like the speed at which Josh plays Miracles.
It's incredible.
He's very adept at playing it, and he plays it quickly, and it's very rare that you see him draw with Miracles.
Yeah.
Ray for a Lands player as well is very, very quick. He's definitely on top of what his deck needs to do and plays in a very quick and timely manner. And I really appreciate that from people.
I do as well.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had enough Miracles games go to time.
Yeah.
Even with Josh playing, but what's so funny is Josh plays so confidently, and he doesn't tank often.
Right.
He knows what he's doing, and I've actually noticed that. Yes, the Miracles deck takes a while to play, but it's the opponents that just don't know what to do, and the opponent just tanks and tanks and tanks, doesn't know how to beat the Miracles deck, and that's why they go to time.
Yep.
It's rarely because of Josh.
So Ray Ghost Quarters his own land there in order to get a green.
Mm-hmm. There's the
And
exploration.
down comes an exploration.
Where have
Let's
we seen
see.
this?
It's pretty similar start. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Another Ghost Quarter into play.
And there's a brainstorm.
Brainstorm coming in. All very typical Lands versus Miracles things going
Yes. Yeah, Josh has something like 1,000 games under his belt. That would not surprise me.
on. Yeah.
Just an incredible amount of games.
Lots of reps, and it shows.
Mm-hmm.
So, what sideboard stuff could really swing this matchup one way or the other?
From all the talk that I've heard about these two decks in the matchup, because these are two powerful players. Our other lands player, Paul, is also very, very competent with lands, and I've seen this matchup a lot. Typically, Josh wins, but it's the fast starts, a little bit of protection from Ray that'll get Josh. Last game Josh stumbled super hard, but Josh has 4 Terminus, four swords. He's well equipped for this matchup already. As far as sideboard cards go, I don't think that Josh needs to change his plan very much. Whereas Ray, he probably boards in Molten Vortex as another way to win the game. He's going to bring in, it looks like he already has a Corrosive Grip in hand, actually, to deal with something like Counterbalance.
Sure.
And I'm not entirely sure what else can even happen. These aren't decks that interact with each other very well.
Yeah. Down comes Ensnaring Bridge.
Now that's a card I'm not used to seeing from Josh. Makes sense, though.
Yeah, and likewise on Ray's side, that Corrosive Grip is going to be good to deal with. Mm-hmm. That down comes a Mentor.
Okay. And a Portent.
And some Monk tokens coming in.
And he's going to take a look at Ray's top 3 cards.
Okay. So I think he's seeing Ray kind of stumbling on lands, having to use a Ghost Quarter to get that original green source, mm-hmm. and hoping he can kind of stave things off a little bit and ride those monks to victory. Now, there comes a Tireless Tracker.
Tireless Tracker.
Mm-hmm. Tireless Tracker down on the board. And I think that's not the game plan that Ray really wants to see going on. This game's not going to be as grindy.
No. It's not too bad, though. What kind of surprises me is that he got this diamond into play, but there's no more. There's clearly no lands left in there.
Sure.
Diamond can now kill Monastery Mentor if he catches him tapped out, but if Jace has got to win this game. I mean, Monastery Mentor is a problem, and it's going to win the game if it goes unaddressed, but he's got a Corrosive Grip for the Ensnaring Bridge. He's got Punishing Fire, so he either needs to kill Jace or he needs to kill Mentor. And he doesn't have a Grove to keep reoccurring it.
Now, that Ensnaring Bridge is actually interesting. It's going to limit the amount that Josh is able to pump those monks pre-combat.
Yeah, so usually he'll go into combat, cast a Portent, or cast a Brainstorm.
Yeah. But it does stop him from kind of going in and alphaing for one attack. Yeah. Looks like we see... Is that a gamble here?
That is a gamble.
And let's see if we're lucky today.
I think this is going to be Life from the Loam. Bryce's favorite.
Yeah.
He always complains about the whole gamble into Life from the Loam thing. Pretty funny.
Let's see if he hits or misses.
He's got a card kind of pulled out. It looks like a Crucible of Worlds is the card that he chooses to get.
Interesting.
That is curious, because Josh is a player who brings in his disenchants. Now, I don't know if Josh has a disenchant in hand, but it would not surprise me. This exploration, it doesn't need to be dealt with right now.
And
so
Tracker goes down, and here comes that Crucible.
So does he have a disenchant or does he have a counterspell? It looks like that he's just going to let this resolve. Glacial Chasm comes in.
Chasm comes in. And that's pretty big.
It is.
Getting that chasm back is going to mean that Ray's able to deal with a lot more on Josh's side. He's able to kind of just let those monks be and just deal with the Jace.
So Jace is going to uptick, and we didn't get to see the card, but he puts it on bottom.
Ponder coming in for Josh.
Gets another monk, and he sees Counterbalance, Flooded Strand, Snapcaster. Looks like he's going to keep those on top, draw a card. Didn't get to see what he put on top. Looks like it's Counterbalance. Get another monk. And pass. Glacial Chasm will deal 2 damage to Ray. He shuffled his gamble back into his deck. You are absolutely right.
That's what it looks like. Yeah, I don't see it in the graveyard there.
And it's not in his hand either.
Huh.
I honestly...
That's good to note.
Yeah, Big Don, I don't even know how I would do anything to change that. Unfortunately, I think I just have to let them keep playing. That is really odd.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, I missed that as well. Yeah, Ghost Quarter. I don't know what the second card in his graveyard is, but that's a Tireless Tracker and then another Ghost Quarter.
There's no red in there.
No, it's a land, the card that I can't quite see what it is. Looks like
Dark Depths.
Yeah. What is he using? That is the number of
clues. Yeah.
Clues.
Number of clues. And Crucible gets disenchanted.
Yep. I kind of figured that there was a disenchant, you know?
Yeah.
But Jace is just upticking. We're getting more monks.
Yep. And eventually that chasm will have to go away. So
now this is the race of, is Dark Depths going to get the kill? Because we know that there's a Croson Grip.
Yep.
On Ray's side, he can get rid of Ensnaring Bridge as long as Counterbalance doesn't counter.
Sure. And Josh, I don't think is going to have too many 3s. Obviously, he has the Mentors, and I'm assuming he might have a Vendilion Click.
Maybe. Okay, so this is going to kill Counterbalance.
Reveals Flusterstorm. Counterbalance down. Interesting.
Very surprising.
And there's another gamble.
Looks like that came off the top of his deck. That one went right to the graveyard.
Yeah.
Huh.
Now, that's kind of an odd gamble, being as he saw what the card was off of Croson Grip.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what.
Yeah, what was it?
What was going
on?
Oh no,
there? Yeah, what is going on? Because he didn't go search his library when he gambled.
Well, it got countered by the.
No, he Croson Gripped that.
He did Croson Grip that. So what?
Maybe Josh found out that the gamble was in his hand still.
I see. Maybe.
Or maybe Ray noticed, or something
from before. Was that the gamble from before?
It may be. I don't know. But it's there now. I don't know. Well, it looks like a Grove of the Burn Willows has been found, which is actually a huge, huge deal. Now there's no efficient way to keep Jace from... Or, now he can keep Jace from ulting, sorry. Words.
Yeah, that Punishing Fire's going to start doing some work on Jace, and just in the nick of time as well. Jace was getting very close to ulting. Josh ponders for some more answers. Does a quick shuffle.
I can't see an efficient way for either side to win the game from this point. They have each other kind of on lock. How's it going? Things are going great, Leah. Welcome to chat. We've got round one. We had a Nyx Fit deck and a Blue-Black Fairies deck, and they drew. And then this round we've got Lands versus Miracles, two of our archetype aficionados.
So we see Ray cracking some clues here, hopefully drawing into some more gas. And I'd assume he's looking for another answer to an ensnaring bridge at some point here. Or he might just be looking for more groves in order to get sort of a punishing fire game going.
Right. And he does have enough lands at the moment to get a punishing fire game going. But he needs to keep recycling this Glacial Chasm. He's let it die here. What's so important right now is if Ray plays Life from the Loam and this gets countered, if this gets countered,
and it's getting surgical, is what it looks like.
Oh, he's surgically Glacial Chasm.
Yeah. And the monk's going to trigger. And in response to the trigger, we're going to see a punishing fire come down. We'll see what else comes in on the other side from Josh.
Josh has a back to basics in hand.
Yeah. Let's make sure there aren't any more copies of Glacial Chasm. Get a look at the deck, see what you're fighting against.
I think that'll do it. That was as good as a counterspell.
Yeah. Oh, that's as good as it gets right there.
Right. So the hand from Ray is 2 Wasteland and a Bajuka Bog. All completely irrelevant cards at the moment.
And there's quite a pile of monk tokens there.
Enough to deal lethal, that's for sure.
Definitely.
It looks like
even without.
Actually, Punishing Fire will keep him at 1. Looks like there are 5. Unless
they
some
do
are
have
hidden.
prowess, though.
Yes. So one spell and it's lethal.
One spell will be lethal, and we do see a predict as well.
There are a couple cards under. It looks like we didn't quite have enough monk tokens. I thought we had more monk tokens than that, but...
And coming in, what do you have? Brainstorm, predict, and yeah, scoops it up, so we're 1-1.
That was a sweet game.
Very interesting game.
Yeah. All right, we get to take a look at our backup match. If it's still going, it is. It's not.
It's not going. Storm's too fast.
Why do we even have backup matches, man? 2 rounds where our backup matches have finished up first. I was kind of hoping we'd at least get to see Game 3, right?
For sure. Well, maybe we can see Storm next round.
You over here, you want to see Storm, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Then there's me. I'm like, yep, I can count to 10 whenever I want.
I'm always impressed when people can count to 10.
It's an amazing deck. It's just not the best spectator deck, in my personal opinion.
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I'm a big fan of gold fishing, so I like watching people, just lay it out, say, "Yep, I've got the kill."
Okay. Definitely not how I feel, but...
Are you saying you like interaction in your format?
I do. I
like me a good solid turn 1 kill. That'd be great.
Yeah, I've heard some incredible stories from you about turn one kills. Some absolutely amazing times. And then here's me. I like preventing people from turn one kills. I definitely have respect for the turn one kill decks, but not my favorite to play, not
Fair
my favorite
enough.
to watch.
Yeah.
So, but I really like playing against them. I actually love the puzzle of stopping my opponent.
Interesting. Yeah.
And you like the puzzle of how do I kill my opponent through it.
Yeah.
Both are very skill intensive. So
So more fine shuffle cams for you guys this evening.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was gonna say, I'm like, well, I want to talk about tokens again.
Yeah.
I've seen the new one. Ooh, I showed you the new one.
Yeah, you did. It's a spicy one.
I know.
For sure.
I'm really excited. Let's see if I can get it. No. Maybe I can get it pulled up. Ah, heck no. I'll leave people hanging again.
Suspense.
I know. Last time Jorgensen was so mad, I was like, I've seen the Merit Lage token, and he's like, I hate you. Which turned out fantastically. I'm in love with the Merit Lage token. And
All right.
Okay, so it looks like we're grabbing a Taiga.
Exploration the easy way this time, not having to ghost quarter your own land and get a basic.
Right. Now, coming from Josh, I wonder if he's boarded out counterspells.
Possibly.
Wouldn't be surprising at all. He does have back to basics in his hand, which is huge in this matchup.
You see a Snapcaster, back to basics. It looked like counterbalance, disenchant, possibly 2 back to basics in hand.
Wow, it looks like Ray has 3 diamonds.
Wow.
3. Yeah, 3 diamonds, a Croson Grip. This is... I don't... In a Bajuka Bog, that's just not a great hand.
It's not... It's certainly not ideal.
Mm-mm. And he had to play out the Tranquil Thicket to...
Yeah.
Because he does have to worry about things like disenchant.
Yeah.
You can't decide between servo or others. Well, the fact that you're saying servo and the other token that you're trying to decide between is others, sounds like you're leaning servo.
That's what it sounds like to me as well.
I mean, he's not a doctor, but
definitely not a doctor.
No, the servo token would be awesome. Ooh, okay.
All right.
You got a relic?
So, relic comes in, hopefully keeping all those graveyard shenanigans at bay.
Oh, it's going to work. The card that was drawn was, you guessed it, Life from the Loam.
Right on time.
Yeah. Oh, it's not a Tranquil Thicket. Sorry, Sheltered Thicket is the one that was in play. I said Tranquil before.
One of those cycling thickets. Here comes a Croson Grip, and that's going to take out that.
Yep. Split second. No activation. This is pretty clean. Clean answer to that.
Now, that is going to allow those back to basics to really do a lot of work.
Thomas, welcome in. Yeah, I know. We got to watch Ray lose in Game 3, right? Looks like the hand wasn't too spectacular, so I think Josh may be able to take this one. But with the timely Croson Grip and the timely draw of Life from the Loam, who knows?
And
he could absolutely be in this one.
You know, I just saw Josh also has an Ensnaring Bridge in hand now. So
Disenchant Diamond.
Wow. Well, that's not going to have quite the effect that
he wants it to.
He wants it to this game. We know that there's plenty more diamonds where that came from.
But this is the thing, though. So he gets to play another diamond, and he's going to cast Life from the Loam, and then back to basics is going to come down, and Bajuka Bog comes in tapped. So this is never going to untap.
Yeah.
Shelter Thicket's not going to untap. And now we're just looking at a couple Mox Diamonds and this Taiga. He doesn't have a lot to work with.
That extra Mox Diamond might come in really handy, though.
It really will.
So Josh, thinking about what he wants to do, he's got that back to basics pulled forward. Slams it on the table. Plays down Crocus. Dredge comes in.
So Chalice of the Void, Crucible, and a Ghost Quarter, I believe, is the 3 cards that were milled. And then we've got a second diamond.
Ray correctly chooses a basic to fetch up. Makes sense.
And Josh is going, but I tried so... but I had back to basics. That's supposed to get you.
And here comes that loam.
Yep.
Return 3.
So Ray's actually just a couple of key draws or dredges away from taking this game.
Definitely. Brainstorm leads off for Josh. And Josh needs to find some action here.
He does have a Snapcaster. But the Bajuka Bog that was played this last turn is keeping that from doing anything. Otherwise, the Disenchant would have looked quite good getting rid of Exploration.
Fetches away what's on the top. And it looks like, yep, there's Gideon. So now it's going to be a race to see whether Ray can find any answers.
And we do have so I hadn't mentioned this, but the recent token that Lee has been working on is Knight Ally.
Ooh.
So I'm sure Josh is looking forward to that because he requested signed monk tokens from Leah.
Very cool.
And he'll be pretty happy to see the ally come along, since he regularly uses Gideon in his Miracles deck.
So I see a Glacial Chasm that's been dredged over, I believe, right under the loam there.
Mm-hmm.
And Ray made kind of a smart play last turn. He blew up his own thicket in order to be able to start drawing cards with it off of his loam.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a Tabernacle. I don't know that that's going to do a lot. However, it is worth mentioning that Back to Basics is going to keep Josh's Caracas from untapping.
Plenty of lands to play with on Josh's side to keep those creatures in.
So Shelter Thicket's gonna... its draw is going to be replaced by a Dredging Life from the Loam. So Thespian Stage, Wasteland, and Punishing Fire are the 3 that go to the grave.
And dredging again. Here comes Glacial Chasm, probably Thicket, and I can't tell what that middle one is.
Thespian.
Thespian?
Yeah.
There we go.
He was pointing at his Beseiju.
Yeah.
Going like, I kind of want this, but like it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
All right, he's going to sack his Bajuka Bog to Glacial Chasm.
So Ray fighting the good fight here. And he's actually in a decent position.
Somewhat interesting too. From Josh, I see a Baneslayer Angel in his grip, and there's not a second white source.
Yeah, that Caracas is out to lunch.
Mm-hmm. And Glacial Chasm obviously would keep the Baneslayer from doing anything anyway, but still, the fact that it can't be cast is worth mentioning. Yeah, he's going,
Make
whoa,
sure
whoa,
keep
you
those
can't
tapped. Yep.
Yeah, you can't untap those.
Yep. My cards do have text.
Surgical on top.
Surgical on top.
So that doesn't do as much as he would like it to, just because we know Sheltered Thicket is a card that's looming in the hand.
Definitely, but it might be able to take one of the lands for the combo out of Ray's graveyard if he mills it over.
Absolutely. But seeing this actually gives Ray a full turn to prepare for it.
And I believe that Ray does have the full combo in hand at this point. I might be wrong, but I think I saw a Dark Depths. Yeah.
So yeah, Wickelmack, it looks like Ray might be able to turn this one around.
Now, I'm not sure if Josh got rid of it earlier. Earlier he had a Ensnaring Bridge in hand, but I think he might have shuffled it away.
Nope. Looks like he's casting
there
it
we
now.
go. There's that bridge coming down, and that's going to hopefully keep things going.
You're wondering if you're missing any Legacy ones? We do stream Legacy much more than Standard. I'll have to keep thinking about it, Leah. I'm not sure. What other common Legacy tokens? Because we already have like goblins for Empty the Warrens and like some other. I don't know. Let me give that one a real big thought. Probably scroll through some top Legacy decks and make sure we have it all. Our table's already got quite a bit. I mean,
yeah.
we had black blue fairies playing.
Oh yeah.
I made sure to have
fairy tokens.
Fairy tokens were out there.
Yeah. And monk tokens doing good job.
So Leah, have you gotten all your cards for Mr. Toad's Wild Ride yet? I guess it's only been like 3 days though. Yeah, he does need more things to win, Thomas. I'm aware of that, but he's turning this around.
So, Chasm's going to the graveyard. And Josh, I think, forgot about the Thicket and tried to get rid of the Loam. And in response, Loam happened. So now he's missing that Surgical, which would have been a nice thing to have still around to get rid of a land.
Truly. Ooh, and he's missed every counterbalance trigger. It's not counterbalance has not done a single thing since it's been on board. Yep. In fact, I think it's done more in the way of giving Ray information that it's done for Josh.
Definitely. And, it just goes to show how big of a role Top used to play in this deck.
Mm-hmm. So he's going to pay for this Night Ally, referring to Tabernacle. Play the island that we knew that was there.
Make some more knights.
And he doesn't even attack?
And
Is the Glacial Chasm on the board? Am I missing something?
I think it went to the graveyard last turn, but
that's what I thought too.
I believe there's an active stage in play.
Okay, well at least I see that he's going to be able to cast Baneslayer this next turn.
Okay. So Depths comes into play. Lots of counters on that, and we've got a couple clues as well.
I feel like this is race to Molten Vortex or like race to...
So Punishing Fire is not going to be very good here because all those non-basic lands are not going to be able to untap. We need to see... We need to see something along the lines of a Crossing Grip on the Back to Basics to get things going, or possibly an Engineered Explosives.
Right. Yeah, Nick Major, thank you so much. So the Thespian stage is a copy. That's what the counter on
Thespian stage is.
Yeah. So Yeah, and Thomas, you're right. Ray needs an explosives, or at very minimum another Croson grip. But a Molten Vortex would do really well for him as well. I don't know what Josh can draw, though. That's the thing, is like I can think of things that Ray can get, but I can't actually think of very much that Josh can get from this point.
Hard to say. Possibly he needs a way to deal with the board currently. I'm not sure. Outside of
that's okay. Yeah, relic. Another relic would be good. We've already seen one this game, right?
Yep, we saw one and it got Croson gripped.
Mm-hmm.
Tracker was paid for, I believe, the turn before.
This turn? Did he not pay for Tracker?
Hard to see. The cards are kind of all jumbled together.
Soothsaying would be good.
Soothsaying would be good.
I'm not sure he's running Soothsaying. Josh switches up his Miracles deck pretty much every time he plays it, and he's not always running Soothsaying. In the past, I've seen him run Counterbalance builds with no Soothsaying, so it wouldn't be the most surprising thing in the world.
So, actual Chasm coming down, not just staged.
Mm-hmm.
And Gideon keeps ticking up. And this is about as standoffish as you get here. Both sides are just kind of doing things, but not really achieving much progress. It seems like at this point Josh is kind of out of ways to set up the top of his deck at the moment, and Lands just keeps chugging along with their engine.
I wonder how realistic it would be for Ray to mill out.
That's very interesting. I wonder who is ahead on cards. I believe Ray is probably further through his deck than Josh.
I would assume
at this
so.
Point.
He's been dredging almost every turn.
Yeah.
He didn't dredge this turn.
Pass back from Josh. Looks like we're going to see some Ghost Quarters start getting in there.
Ghost Quarter resolves, and it looks like
Josh is looking.
Go find another plains.
Might maybe not be. No basics.
Wow.
No basics. And I think that's going to be a good signal to Ray that Ghost Quarters strip mine.
So that time, I saw him draw his. Okay, so he drew his card off a clue. I can't tell when his. I don't think he paid. Okay, so there's the untap.
Hard to tell.
He's paying.
What's going on?
Paying 3, making a copy of Glacial Chasm.
Okay.
Letting it die. Okay, so he goes to his draw. So Tireless Tracker should be dead.
Yeah.
Or at least paid for.
Definitely. Molten Vortex comes down. All right. Finally getting that tracker cleared up. Yeah. We got that sorted.
Yeah, and he finds Molten Vortex. This should be enough. This should be enough to win.
Yeah.
I would assume.
It should be pretty clean from here. Unless there's something out of Josh's deck like a Pithing Needle or something along that line.
And Barbarian Ring's just going to add to that clock.
Definitely. So Josh cracks. There is engineered explosives that Josh could draw to as well to get rid of that Molten Vortex.
Right. We have not seen that EE this game.
And land comes down. Not really what you're looking to see. Makes a token, passes turn. And I think we're going to see a couple activations here. It looks like a clue.
He's going to dredge.
Dredge. Barbarian Ring. Activates for red. Molten Vortex gets in for 2 damage.
From this point, Thomas, you can either Ghost Quarter, or you can Molten Vortex. I don't think either is more correct than the other. Vortex, but it does look like this is a win, regardless.
Definitely, yeah. Vortex seems fine. Josh is pretty well locked out on being able to get any damage going, as long as Ray keeps things going.
Now, I do see a card in Josh's hand, and it's unexpectedly absent. I don't know. I can't remember if unexpectedly absent. Okay, so unexpectedly absent cannot hit a land.
He just used that unexpectedly absent on the Vortex.
On the Vortex. To put it back on top. He's probably thinking that he can catch it on counterbalance.
What would have been interesting is to do it in response to a dredge trigger. But this looks fine as well. So Vortex is off.
And is this 2 die their turns? Are we going to see 2 draws? Just nobody ever gets to win on camera.
That would be quite the start. This game just kind of it died out. No one was able to really get much of an advantage here.
Well, both players went for a lock before they went for a win.
Yeah. I think we'll see what happens. Ray might be able to get that Barbarian Ring repeatedly going, but I'm not sure if he has enough cards in library to get Josh down from 12.
He doesn't have a lot of mana to work with either. Dark Depths doesn't tap for anything. He's got a Forest, 2 Diamond, and whatever's under the Depths, which...
And he has to keep replaying... Oh, here comes a gamble. He has to keep replaying a Chasm, or getting a Chasm online in order to stay alive. And it looks like this is a Snapcaster coming in...
On Flusterstorm?
Possibly on Flusterstorm on that gamble. Oh, we're going to crack first. Get land. So worth noting, Ray is at 2.
Oh yeah, he just flips Flusterstorm off the top and gets
great.
the counter off of
For the first time in the game, counterbalance does something.
It did, and it mattered.
It did.
Josh is I think Josh is fighting for the draw. Yep, we definitely got a draw.
Yep, it's looking that way. So Snapcaster comes in. Are we going to see unexpectedly absent? No.
Predict.
Predict.
Predict away the Flusterstorm. Draw 2. Untap, draw 1. That land is not untapped. Yeah. There they go. They got it.
Thinking about it. And sacking some number of creatures. Paying for the others. Draw for a turn. And we see not much going on. It looks like this probably will be a draw.
Both of these players have 1 turn left. I don't foresee very many victory formations from either of them.
I think they're just double checking through everything, making sure that they've got all the motions. Gonna dredge up that life from the loam one more time. 5th turn, counterbalance, reveals back to basics. That's not gonna do it. Couple stages come back. And that's it.
Yeah, so this is a draw.
Another draw.
2 rounds, 2 draws. Totally what we expected to see, right? Like, what else could have happened? Wow. And they were playing quickly, too.
They were. They
really were.
The game got really bogged down, and there wasn't really anything either player could do to make that turn into a win. At least that we saw on camera.
Yeah, that was incredible.
I think
you're not entertained, DQ, right? Well, that's a little drastic for an FNM, but we need a winner. All right, who deserves to be DQ'd more than the other person?
So the real question is, will we see a match that actually doesn't draw in our final round?
I don't actually know.
And
after
will we see a backup match?
Here's the thing. We saw Storm win. Okay. Finish in the parking lot. We saw. I'm pretty sure Storm won. All right.
Okay.
If Storm won, then I think we can watch a real finish, because Storm doesn't go to time. Right?
True.
Regardless of what they're playing against.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. I mean, it's like a little expected with Lands and Miracles, Captain QC, but even then though, both decks have win cons, you know.
Angel Prison Modern Deck Mirror.
That sounds absolutely terrible. Definitely no way it ends in a draw. Oh man. Well, I gotta show some people some things.
Yeah.
We probably won't have too long to hang out, but
now that we have you for a minute.
For a moment. I wanted to show you guys this article that went up today. This is my bragging rights article.
Of course.
Pretty cool. So This Week in Legacy was put up on MTG Goldfish. And they get to talk about some decks. You saw that matchup about 2 years ago.
Oh, boy.
Still didn't finish game 1. So down here at the bottom, and I love this, they have like their conclusion. And then they put another deck on there, and then we go to the Spice Corner, which is where my
PCG Eternal.
yeah. So this PCG Eternal, this is basically me. In this case, it's me, which is totally cool. I've never done anything like this. We Patrick and I sat down and 5-0'd a league with this.
Now, not just 5-0 though. 5-0, 10-0 in games.
10-0 in games. We didn't.
Yeah.
Was it you or was it me or Brian? Well, there's a stream with me playing, so it was me. But it's me, Brian, or Bryce, or Patrick. Like, we're the people who use it. But yeah. So this was they even link Paragon City Games. Yep. So this takes you to. This will take you to our stream page, and what they had to say about the deck was really cool. This deck did hit the mothership, which I'm loving, and then I wanted to finish it out and build it in paper because I'm enjoying the deck so much, and I guess I need. Brian went to another store to pick up a couple extra cards, and I guess other people are starting to build this as well, and that is just crazy to me because.
That being said, it looks like people are ready for it here today.
It's almost like they know what's going on.
Yeah.
Patrick, there are actually 2 of our 20 people are playing this deck in paper. We watched one of them round 1.
Patrick was saying he was struggling a little bit in the tournament with the deck, but
yeah, but we saw Les draw his first round,
and we got to see Sandworm Convergence.
We did. Legacy. Yes, we did. I'm like Neo. I'm not exactly starting a revolution. This deck is super sweet, but can I dodge bullets? I've never tried. Never tried. So
I'm not a doctor, but I'd say that's probably bad for your health.
There needs to be Curse of Misfortune. Geez, these guys just want it all. Let's try it out. Yeah, just right now. Let's just start a league. Hold. Oh no, let's try it out. Yeah, with the bullets. Yeah, great idea. So that was a lot of fun. And then, what else was I going to show? What else was I going to show? Hold on. Yes. Good plan. It's our man with a plan. So, other thing I was going to show is our Cats and Cantrips.
Oh, yeah.
Custom tokens Patreon. So we have this deal with Leah Anderson, who's the artist for Cats and Cantrips, and she's doing some awesome work with tokens. Matt and I actually have here. Let me transition real quick. We have the brand new token, which is a pirate, and these are made in a really solid cardstock.
Oh yeah,
the printing is fantastic. One of my favorites, for sure.
Definitely.
And then we have them out on our table as well. Leah's making 5 of these tokens a month. And that's where our Patreon comes in. Is you can get all of those tokens monthly.
Yeah. Including the new Merit Lage token.
Which and then
is looking pretty sweet.
Yes, last night I saw for the first time our Knight Ally token. So then we had our Pixie Wolf and the Pirate.
Yeah.
Some pretty cool stuff this time around. And then she's also saying that she wants to work on a servo, which is awesome. Hey, thanks for the cheer. So yeah, you can get one of each. They're so cute. I know, they are adorable.
They're wonderful.
And you can here. Let me throw. Throw her Etsy page. Yeah, not much caught. So yeah, you can check out her Etsy. I just linked it to you. It has all the tokens that are already made.
Yes, Curse of Misfortunes searches for curses and puts them into play if they have a different name. Different named curse. So
that actually would be pretty sweet. It helps the deck from Surgical. Agreed. The other thing that somebody mentioned earlier today was Groundswell, which would be a fantastic sideboard card because it stops from Surgical and Deathrite Shaman.
Yep.
And it draws you a card when it comes into play, so it like keeps things going. I'm pretty impressed with that idea too. This isn't a deck that we've tuned. You know?
Yeah.
This is a deck that somebody had an idea. Brian came across it. They like fixed it up a little bit, handed it to me, and I accidentally did well once. That's seriously what it is, though. Like this is a deck that I hope people go and like find better ways to do it. I hope people do. Like
it'd be sweet.
I'm not much of a brewer. You know, I just like playing Magic.
Yeah.
So you give me a deck, and I'm like, all right, let's do it. And turns out this is a super fun deck. And then, you know, with as far as brewing goes, people can make it better than me. Brian and Bryce put like 5-10 minutes into like fixing the sideboard a little bit, and I think they did pretty well.
Well, the thing is, you start at a point, and then you build on that,
Mm-hmm.
and the more people that build on it, the better it gets, and the more tuned it gets, you know, the more efficient the card choices are, the better the deck is. So.
Agreed. Yeah, and Wicklemack, I absolutely agree. Curse of Misfortune could be really cool, or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
Curse of Misfortune. It actually seems really sweet. It doesn't get everything you want, and that's the only reason it might not be the best.
Yeah. Doesn't hit Dovescape.
That's the issue. It doesn't hit Dubscape and it doesn't hit Sandworm Convergence, which is like what this deck is trying to go for. But at the same time, it does get Overwhelming Splendor.
Yep.
And Curse of Desolate.
Definitely. Yeah.
2 turns, and that lock is on board without you having to find Academy Rector. So
Yep.
very clear that this could be good. It probably takes a little bit of time, but absolutely. Well, I haven't been updated on any rounds yet, but it looks like people are sitting down. So
we might have some purple sleeves on our shuffle cam. It looks like we're underway.
Not sure who these people are yet.
Does look like it's Stoneblade, Esper Stoneblade versus some kind of Gitaxian Probe deck.
Where do we want to be? There's a standstill and a mystical.
Ooh. Is that a myth realized?
It is a myth realized. This is the one we want to watch, huh?
Let's do that.
Let's watch here.
Looks like we've got Standstill versus Miracles. That's probably Josh on Miracles. Those islands look very similar.
Yeah, they sure do.
Myth realized coming in.
I just want to see this myth realized.
Oh, yeah. So we see some forces in hand. Standstill got cracked. So Myth realized gets a counter on it every time its controller plays an instant or sorcery spell, I believe. Could be wrong on that. And then you can turn it into a creature by paying 1 mana? 2 mana?
Let's pull it up, shall we?
Cards I did not think I would have to know. So, okay.
I'll pull it up.
There we go. On screen. So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a lore counter on it. You can pay 2 and a white and put a lore counter on it. And you can pay a white until end of turn. It becomes a creature with power and toughness equal to the number of lore counters on it.
So very quickly, this can become a huge threat.
Definitely. And so far we've seen 2 standstills come down. And now we're seeing a force happening on... Force battle happening on this card draw. So force your force. And we're going to see a third force come down.
Whoa. Blue cards.
And that myth is just getting bigger and bigger.
Now, Josh is pretty well equipped to handle something like this, Myth realized. But as long as our standstill player can, continue to protect it, the game could end very quickly.
Yeah, definitely. Now, seeing a bunch of those forces go and kind of battle over card draw spells, it's going to mean there's a lot less protection for that myth. But forces to spare, it looks like, from our standstill player. Ponder comes in for Josh. He's looking at... there's a Terminus somewhere on the top 3. And a Jason hand. So I actually think Josh might be in a good spot here.
He may be.
Despite the life total. So Josh down to 10. Turn pass back. And if I'm Josh, yep, I'm just going to work with that miracle on the top. Enlighten Tutor down for our standstill player. This might be on upkeep. Josh says, sure, get the counter, search your deck. Don't really care about that when you've got a Terminus on top.
Abyss?
And that is an Abyss, is what it looks like.
The Abyss.
The Abyss.
Another card I'm pulling up. One we don't see every day, unless you own them, maybe.
So, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, destroy target non-artifact creature that player controls of his or her choice, and it can't be regenerated. And again, the myth gets around that by not being a creature during upkeep. So, here comes Snapcaster. Predict. Predicts that Terminus off of the top. Draws 2 cards. Snapcaster dies to the Abyss.
So rude.
And Myth is doing a really good job of kind of making Josh's life horrible here.
Mm-hmm.
So Jace comes down, but unless there's some protection in the top 3 cards, Jace is not going to stick around for very long.
No, and it's just a couple of spells that it'll take for the standstill player to just win.
Definitely. We're looking at a 7/7 Myth realized, and 3 more spells, and Jace won't even matter anymore at all.
No.
Down comes a Maze of Ith. And
a
another
standstill.
standstill. That'll pop the Myth up to 8.
Looks like we're going to Force of Will this standstill. Getting rid of a counterbalance.
That puts Myth at 8 and Josh's life total at 9. So that fetch, is that coming at Jace or is that coming at him?
Normally I would have said Jace,
Down
but
to
seeing the
7?
fetch, I don't hate putting them to 1 and just not
Down to
letting
1.
them have
Down to 1.
have fetch lands.
Yeah, I think that's a good spot to be in. And now Josh has to find an answer here.
It's pretty much Swords to Plowshares or bust. He does have 2 Brainstorm. Okay, so he can do this. So what he does is he brainstorms a Jace, puts Terminus back, and now he's got a Terminus to cast.
Sure. Yeah. Off of Brainstorm.
Off of Brainstorm.
But any piece of counter magic, and I think we'll be looking at new game. Now, there's a Mishra's factory, or not factory. Workshop? No, factory.
Factory.
Terminus comes in just as we thought. And let's see what happens here.
There's only 1 card in the standstill player's hand. I think this is going to resolve. And from this point, I could absolutely see a comeback. Though
There's still
he
a man
still
land in
he
play.
still has to deal with the factory.
Yep.
Snapcaster can just ambush it.
Can.
However, Maze of Ith can save it.
Yep.
And then Abyss
Kills
the Snapcaster.
So more brainstorms coming in. Jace doing its best job trying to solve the board state. Josh plays a land and passes turn, and incoming Enlightened Tutor. Says, yeah, okay. Show me what you got. So it looks like he finds the last standstill. Standstill number 4.
And it's going to get Oh, he can't Force of Will.
He could hard cast a force.
He can hard cast it, which I assume he will do.
If he does that, though, he can't block. Here comes an ambush viper of a Snapcaster Mage.
Doing its best impression.
Yep. And we're going predicting. Block. Maze. And Josh is just getting a little bit ahead of himself here.
Yeah.
Standstill comes down.
And this is going to put our standstill player to... Oh, no, he doesn't use the Ancient Tomb. Okay. Looks like he changed how he tapped his mana real quick.
And now...
Abyss.
Yeah,
Yep, Abyss takes care of Snapcaster, and...
That's Snapcaster.
Now this puts Josh in a position where he's going to draw his opponent 3 cards. Period.
Yep. So far we've seen Standstill draw 9 cards this game.
There's been a couple.
Yeah. Yeah, QC, it looked like the factory should have untapped, right? And then, I'm not sure what's going on there, but it shouldn't really matter here too much, I don't believe.
Tutor for Standstill is somewhat weak, but, like, cards are what matter at this point. Being able to find either another myth realized, or another factory, or anything like that is going to be good enough. And I don't know what else he has in his deck to get off of Tutor.
I suppose another myth realized is an option.
Mm-hmm.
Cracks Brainstorm.
See, and he draws a myth realized.
And there's a Terminus. Yeah.
Yeah, he could get myth itself, but he's got an empty hand. So he's forced to draw cards.
It would take at least a couple turns to get that myth turned on.
I'm not sure, Bryce. I'm gonna get his name right after this game.
Myth comes down.
Our Paragon workers must be pretty busy because we didn't get the information for this round.
And Hardcast Force coming in on that myth.
Ooh, he's got the winter factory.
He does.
Is it Spell Pierce?
Yeah.
And that should do it.
That's not in play yet. There we go.
He still has to answer this myth realized. He still has to answer the factory. Honestly, guys, I could see it either way. However, the fact that he drew myth realized off of his standstill, I'm going to go ahead and say whether it was correct to do so or not, it ended up being much better for him to get standstill.
I agree.
So
more cards, I think, was our standstill player's goal.
Winter Factory and an Ixalan Spell Pierce? Yeah, I don't know, Bryce. I don't want to talk about it, all right?
Priorities.
An Abyss and Ixalan Spell Pierce.
Yeah.
It's what happens when you is this standstill list a thing? Yeah, actually it's on the same list. It's Tony, it's the same. If you take a look at the weekly, it's This Week in Legacy on MTG Goldfish. It's actually the top deck. Four myth realized, 4 standstill. So it's actually in the same article that my deck was featured in. Kind of cool.
Gamble and loam instead, yeah.
Bryce jumps into chat and like Captain QC is like, "Oh, I'm paying attention." We did see plenty of gamble and plenty of loam last round. All right, we've got an EE. He can put that on 1, and he'll be able to deal with this myth realized. But I think he's
so there's still the factory to deal with.
He has an unexpectedly absent. I don't think that does it though. It can't hit a land.
Non-land.
Yeah.
That myth though is very absent.
EE doesn't hit lands either, does it?
No.
Or does it hit creatures? I'm always a little
Pretty sure it's non-land.
Yeah, non-land for sure. Yeah, I know most don't hit lands. I can never remember which ones can and which ones can't. Because there are a mix of them. The only one I can seem to remember is Abrupt Decay. I don't know why.
Well, it is very relevant here too.
It is.
So here comes an absent, but he realizes that's not gonna work out.
None of the cards answer the Mishra's Factory, and game 1 is going to go to our standstill player, whose name I will get in just a moment.
There we have it.
All right, there we have it. So game 1 goes to standstill. And if you give me just a moment, I'm going to pan over to our other match. I'm pretty sure this is Terry and Eric. I'm guessing because, like I said, I'm not entirely sure. So go.
All right.
Just a moment.
So it looks like we've got a Deathrite in play on Eric's side, assuming that's Eric, and a big fish in play.
Name's right. Standstill is Remy.
Remy.
I went outside, saw who it was, and I was like, oh, okay, I do know this person.
Awesome.
All right, what's going on in our match?
All right. Deathrite in play versus a big fish. And is that what is that?
What's the FTV foil card from Transform? Is that that's not Delver.
Is it
Delver?
Huh. Can't tell.
I don't think I'm as familiar with the art as I'd like to be.
Quite likely a Delver list, though.
Well, oh, the other print's not up. Hold on.
Strix comes down.
Come on, chat, help me out. Is this a Delver? It looks like a Delver.
Stoneblade on the right, probably.
FTV Delver's pretty dark.
That might be an insect elaboration.
I think it is.
Oh, cool. All right, so.
Okay. And that was my first guess. I can't really think of another transform blue flip card besides Jace, and we know that wasn't Jace.
Yeah. Couple probes coming in. Looks like a Deathrite Fatal Push, Zealous Persecution. All relatively normal things to have in hand.
Grixis.
And that Strix is going to do a really good job of holding off that Gurmag Angler. And quite possibly the Delver. So.
Yep, lightning bolt.
In comes a lightning bolt. In comes an attack. 8 damage coming across. Half of Eric's life total gone.
Yep.
Boom.
on the bright side, the this Deathrite should be able to keep it from being a turn 2 swing or 2 turns of swinging in.
Yeah.
And it looks like he does have a fatal push in hand as well.
Right. It looks like Standstill's about ready to start back up again.
Yeah, they've just drawn their hands. Oops, wrong button. There we go.
And we're off. So, Delta in play for Josh. Mox. Diamond in play for Remy.
Getting rid of a Horizon Canopy.
And in comes a Factory.
This is boring. More Myth Realize.
Yep. We're on it.
Yeah, I think this deck is awesome.
And here's that myth, as advertised, coming down.
Found it.
The myth has been realized.
It'd be less boring if there were no miracles. Perhaps.
So standstill in. Wow, I wonder if Remy has one of each of the different types of arts on the Mishra factories.
He may. It looks like this one's the autumn one. Oh, it's not search. I can't say found it. I didn't use my found it button in my defense. But yeah, you're right.
Yep.
You're right. Don't know what I was thinking. I need Josh to play Search for Escanter now. Just to show him.
So it looks like we're getting a force on Snapcaster.
Yep.
I believe that's in response to the standstill.
Yeah, it is. He was just hoping to get something out there before, facing down 2 Mishra's factories and a myth realized.
Yeah.
While he can't cast spells without Remy getting a huge advantage, he just has to run it out.
Yep. Counterbalance is going to be a little bit too late here, I believe. We'll see what happens. 3 cards on Remy's side. Gotta be pretty happy about that. And I did see an unexpectedly absent in Josh's hand that might be able to keep that myth realized under control. But second standstill comes down. And not much going on Josh's side.
Not a lot at all. If he does have another land this turn, which he doesn't seem to have. Yeah, he can't even cast Gideon. Can't cast Jace.
Yeah. And there's potentially 7 power worth of creatures on board without any more spells being played.
Wow. This could be a really fast game.
It might.
All right. Activate Myth Realized. Activate Factory. Attack for 5.
And here comes an absent, it looks like. On the myth. Cracks that standstill. Let's see if there's any responses coming in. Any counters. Spell Snare.
Spell Snare will get countered.
Gets countered, and that's big. That's huge.
Unless I use the Azcanta pointer, then you'll allow it. Oh, thank goodness. So I'm allowed to say found it to stuff. I just can't use the pointer.
And seeing that 1-drop on top is also going to mean that there can't be a brainstorm into, say, a Force of Will on Remy's side.
Ooh, a little
stutter there.
Little stutter,
and
yeah.
Oh, can't do that one either.
No, I think it just backed up from. Oh no, he tried to brainstorm too.
Something happened there that switched the top card, is what it looked like. But
no, I don't think he resolved brainstorm.
I don't know.
I think he felt like maybe he just doesn't realize how counterbalance worked, and he felt like he could respond to the counterbalance trigger by casting something.
Maybe.
And like Josh was like, okay, I'll reveal the same card. I'm not sure what happened there.
He forgot it was a 1 on top. Yeah, it not the most.
Yep, just threw a brainstorm away.
Yeah, well, sometimes you don't need all those cards that you're getting off of your standstill.
Nope. I mean, Josh is still sitting on 3 lands. No spells in his cask or in his hand can be cast at the moment. He's literally just banking on Counterbalance continuing to blind flip.
And it's doing work.
It is.
That's the third spell that Counterbalances countered this game. And we just saw a Swords on top, which is going to be great to deal with the board.
He has a myth realized, and he can't cast it.
Yep.
He's just going to attack for 4.
He's thinking...
I would attack for 4. Oh, attack with one of them, pump it.
Yeah.
Attack for 3.
Attack for 3.
I think this is the same clock. Yeah, he pondered, and yeah, I know he pondered, but like that's what I'm saying is like all he's got going right now is just Counterbalance.
So actual counterspell in Josh's hand as well.
Mm-hmm. Swords,
Which should be able to deal with one of the factories.
I do know that Remy has a copy of Counterspell for himself, and it looks like he just drew a Force of Will. Both factories up, both coming in. We're going to see a Swords to Plowshares on one of them. This is going to get counterspelled, and it looks like we'll see a Counterspell back.
Looks like maybe a counter or a Flusterstorm.
Looks like he's going to
just kind of deciding. And Force.
Force, pitching Brainstorm.
And Josh just kind of content to let that happen without any counterbalance shenanigans going on. Back to basics off the top, which he knew about.
Yep.
And now we've got a little bit of an interesting game going on.
We do.
So both those factories locked down. Remy's mana is cut in half. Crucible.
He's like, can I see your graveyard first?
And it looks
Fetch,
like
a Horizon Canopy.
Horizon Canopy is pretty sweet.
Just play that and draw a card every turn.
Yeah.
Reveal, disenchant. Dang it.
Nothing that's gonna hurt Josh's mana though, which is pretty important.
He does get to show his opponent, but at least I get to kill your Crucible. Haha. Too bad Remy's not running any misdirection, right?
Right.
He can't change the target to back to basics.
That would be wild.
That would be crazy. Myth Realized comes in. And we know that this enchant is on top. Remy was able to clear the way for it. Now he's just a couple spells away from getting this win.
And Josh has to think about whether he wants to save that disenchant for the Crucible or whether he wants to go after the myth.
Mm-hmm. Looks like Remy is going to play a Flooded Strand from his graveyard and grab an Underground Sea. So he's out of basics. He just has a great basic choices, you know?
Yep.
and a foil Ixalan Plains and a snow-covered island.
Here comes that Abyss. And I don't know about you, but Abyss still seems kind of like a weird choice here, although we've seen it do some work. So, I'm not sure what this card is. I believe it's destroying enchantments, but I don't remember what the card does exactly. Aura of Silence. Gotcha.
Bring that one up.
So, Aura of Silence, artifact and enchantment spells your opponent's cast cost 2 more to cast, and you can sacrifice Aura of Silence and destroy target artifact or enchantment.
think he's going to get rid of back to basics. What do you think?
I think that that's a solid choice. We do see that Josh was able to deal with that myth realized, though. So,
2 factories, that's still lethal.
definitely.
But we finally found the 4th land.
I wonder if Josh has found anything to deal with those factories. Here comes Ponder. And 3 cards that don't really do much. So back to basics coming in right now. Excuse me. Aura killing the back to basics right now.
Yeah. Yeah, factory is lethal with 1 pump. He doesn't have to commit both of them, but I think you do want to attack with both. Well, I guess you're just worried about Terminus, right? So just attack with 1. Sure.
Yeah. Terminus is pretty much the only thing here that you're terribly concerned about.
So since you can attack with 1, you just do.
Yeah. So it looks like both are going to get activated coming in, and that'll do it.
Either way, it worked.
Hey,
we saw a match win.
We saw a match all the way through.
It happened.
To completion.
Remy wins this 2-0, and we get to check on our other table, which is already finished. No backup matches today.
No backup matches today. Who needs them?
Who needs them? I would have liked to see some other matches, but geez.
For sure.
All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We've got standard live Magic on Mondays. Yep. I know that this is a legacy stream and that most people are like, meh. I know I am. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, we do live Magic 7 Mountain Time, and then Tuesdays we do Legacy 4 rounds, and that is also at 7 Mountain Time, and you can always join us next week. Also, each weekday between myself, Brian, and Bryce and Patrick, we do all sorts of legacy streaming on Moto during the day.
Sometimes with Nick's Fit.
I did. It was Nick's Fit earlier this week.
Yeah.
I did.
And Turbo Depths.
And I 4-1'd with Turbo Depths today. First time ever playing it.
There you go.
It was so much fun. So if this is your first time on the stream, be sure to give us a follow. Like I said, we're streaming all the time, so it would be great to have you in our chat. It's always a pleasure. And on that note, Hail Heroes.
Hail Heroes.